Hi everyone. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Albert Garcia. I'm a Catalan business intelligence consultant and developer from Barcelona, working currently in Antara Solution, Sydney. I've got 2 Microsoft certifications and a Master of Business Intelligence. If you want to follow up, here is my Twitter and LinkedIn accounts, as well as my blog about BI focused on Microsoft technologies. Well, this video pretends to clarify a little bit what is big data and how Microsoft is landing in this concept for all their partners and developers. There is a lot of new concepts, easy to understand for any BI architect, and a lot of new keywords that we need to know. Some people think that there is some solutions on the market that could support really big databases working in parallel and cluster servers, but we are not talking about event farm servers. Then how big is the data we are talking about? Gigabyte? Just kidding, that's something that my old laptop could run without problems. Terabyte? Of course not. That's something that any server could run also. Therefore, much more. Petabyte? That's something that is scarce, but is not what we are talking about. We are talking about exabytes. Of course, we are not talking about normal fact data in a singular company. For this amount of data, we are talking about logs, tweets, Facebook interactions, boots, or any unstructured bunch of data from sensors, geometrical data, and so on. By the way, the base of big data are the 3 Bs. However, as a BI architect, I'm really more concerned about the 4th B. That should be there, what I call the veracity. The other 3 Bs has no value at all if your data has no veracity, because in big data we could work with really dirty and raw data, and make sense of this data is really important. Just keep in mind. The other 3, like volume, well, volume for obvious reasons, variety, because it could come unstructured and raw data from many uncertain sources, and velocity, because if you are able to process 10 petabytes of data successfully, but you invest months on it, then it won't be a successful story anymore. Well, can any relational and traditional database manage this amount of data? The answer is a big no. Google, Yahoo, Facebook, Twitter, among many others, found this problem long time ago. Google was the first to solve this problem and published a white paper that allowed Apache to create Hadoop. But how it works? Hadoop has 2 main points. It's MapReduce and HDFS. HDFS is the file system where you can create folders, upload data, etc. Okay, but how it really works? For example, we have a file of 300 megabytes. HDFS splits into blocks of 128 megabytes. Then it copies these blocks 3 times in different data nodes. It will be distributed on these nodes. Then the name node tracks blocks and data nodes. Thanks to this, if some data nodes die, it won't create a problem, because we have 3 copies of the same segment in other data nodes. And whenever some node dies, it will copy again these segments to another node in order to have always 3 copies alive. The other big advantage of Hadoop is the map reduce, okay, which is the way to dig into a peta or exabyte data and get your results quickly. Nowadays, filtering in your data warehouse implies copy all the data to your local and then filter it. With Hadoop MapReduce, it will move the data or any process where the data source is. And the way to achieve this is through some complex Java. Okay, Yahoo create Apache Peak as a platform for analyzing large data sets and consists of high-level language layer. Then also exists Hive, same as Peak, but with really interesting advantage that it uses the same syntax as SQL, something that facilitates and saves some time avoiding to the developers learn any other complex language. Then the Microsoft solution for big data is getting all the unstructured data from many sources plus all the structured data from the companies, ERPs, CRMs or applications, and then you have your Microsoft Hadoop or Windows server or in the cloud, as you can, by the way, testing in Hadoop on Azure.com, which, by the way, is really interesting to use Windows Azure Marketplace and mix all your big data with some geographical or economical structured data and connect with your enterprise data warehouse through the connectors that Microsoft published already. Finally, you just have to explore and play with your data with Power View or Power Pivot. Well, that's all. Thanks for watching. If you want a book easy to digest and read, I recommend you Planning for Big Data from O'Reilly Radar team, and don't forget to visit my blog. Bye.